What's going on, everybody? It's Mr. Diamond. And I know you guys did just take a test either yesterday or the day before, but I did mention there was going to be one small assignment that we were going to be doing on Friday that you could work on this weekend, and you will want to have prepared for this next chapter. So you'll notice this is chapter 1, Adams Continued. If I haven't mentioned, by the way, this is just a bonus for those of you who are actually paying attention to these videos and don't rely on your friends telling you what you were supposed to get out of them. The only reason that the first chapter is chapter 0 is because I'm really lazy and I don't want to have to go back and relabel all of my later stuff after I split up chapter 1 from last year. So you can kind of think of this as chapter 2. But again, my laziness has prevented me from wanting to have to relabel everything I do for the rest of the year. So this is chapter 1, Adams Continued. Before we get any further into chemistry, though, we need to discuss one of the most valuable tools over the course of this class, and that is the periodic table. We're going to have our own full chapter talking about the periodic table, probably chapter 2, if this is chapter 1. And there's a good chance that in future classes I may actually end up switching the order of this. I haven't fully decided yet. I'm kind of still doing my own thing in this regard. But the periodic table is super duper duper important. Now, there are a lot of different types of the periodic table. Some of them that just have the bare bones information. Some of them that are color-coded one way. Some are color-coded in a different way. This one looks like a square and has this scary-looking Russian man in the corner. All of these are valid versions of the periodic table. But we're going to be sticking with the one that I made, which is very slightly different than the one that you may have seen on the other ones, or that may look slightly different than the ones that are right here. The periodic table in general, and I would write this down somewhere just so you have it, is arranged in order based on atomic number, which is number of protons, and have masses of the elements, but contains much more information than just that. So to see that other information, you're going to need to do some research. So this is what your goal is going to be. On the periodic table that I gave you on paper, and if you don't have one on paper, I do have a link to this online. I'm going to make it a PDF at some point soon after I record this video. It should be going up on Google Classroom, a PDF form of it. So you can print it if you're at home. If you can't print it, I guess just look up this information. You're really going to want to have access to a periodic table, though. I would strongly encourage you to find some way that you could get it printed, whether that would be having a family member who can print it off for you, or something like that. But you are really, really, really going to want one. Or I guess if there's a way I can get that to you at school, if you have someone else who comes here, I can drop it off at the office and you could pick it up, let me know. But you're going to want to label in a way that makes sense to you. So I'm not telling you what colors to use or how to label it, but in a way that makes sense to you, I want you to label the metals, nonmetals, and metalloids, the alkali metals, the alkali earth metals, the halogens and the noble gases, the SPD and F blocks. Where are the transition metals? What are the actinides? What are the lanthanides? And then make sure that you have some kind of key so you can actually read whatever you're labeling it as. So you don't be like, oh, I'm going to color these blue, and then later you forget what was colored blue. So also make sure you have some kind of key on there that will tell you what's in each of the boxes. For this information, again, you're going to be able to find it online. You label it however makes sense to you. If you have questions or if you feel like something isn't quite right or you're not quite sure what you're doing, you can let me know. This is just going to be very, very important and very, very helpful once we have the time to get into this first section of this chapter here. So this is just the intro. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Otherwise, get to coloring, get to researching. I hope you guys have a great weekend. This is Mr. Diamond signing off.